Welcome. In this segment, we'll be building a face frame cabinet. I'm just going to walk you through how I do things, and you might be able to pick up on certain techniques that perhaps you didn't know about. I'm going to build a fairly complicated face frame cabinet. Dropped in a mid-rail. And we'll put drawers across the top, doors down the middle, and a door on each side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix my top mid-rail, 150 millimeters from the top, and each one of my mid-stiles, 200 millimeters. And one I'll position from the left side, so it's 200 millimeter opening, and this one from the right with a 200 millimeter opening. And the reason why I'm changing my reference points is so that when I want to scale this cabinet, I want the right side and the left side drawer to stay the same, and any changes in width will be picked up by the middle part. And I will use the same technique on the bottom as well, so that the doors maintain their size, and it'll be the drawer boxes inside that will grow or shrink in width. We'll put this mid-stile 300 millimeters from the left, make a copy, and make it 300 millimeters from the right. Put a mid-stile down below, and we don't really care where it's going to go because I'll use the equalize option to make the drawer fronts the same height. Okay, if we're going to have a door here and a door on the right, and then I'll have an adjustable shelf, we'll need something to limit or delimit the cabinet such that I can have a place to hang my adjustable shelves. And so for that, I'll take a partition, and you can see that it's gone up to the top. Not really what I should have done. I should have put some sort of a fixed shelf down below. So I could redo this, but what I'm going to do is show you how to adjust things. So I've put a fixed shelf, and it has found the end and the partition, so it's stopped that way. And what I really want to do is move it all the way across. I've put it into scale mode, and I'm just going to drag it across. And now, once I've dragged it past that partition, it'll look for the next available side to attach to, and it's found the end. Clicking that partition, I'll drag it down, and then it'll again search for the next place to stop, and now it's found that fixed shelf. And I'm going to leave this reference from the left. And the reason is, as I grow or shrink, I always want it to stay maintained to whatever this style is. So if the style is staying 300 millimeters from the left style, then this partition will always stay exactly to the side of this style. I'll duplicate it, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Change the reference to be from the right. So as I grow or shrink, this partition will stay 300 millimeters from the right, and this mid-stile will stay basically in the same place reference to the partition. Okay, we can add our adjustable shelves, copy it, whoops, do that again, there we go. And now it's a simple matter of adding our drawer boxes. I'm hitting the Control key, which causes a duplicate to be made. I drop it into the opening, again duplicate, again And we're done with our drawers. Okay. Highlight both drawer boxes in the way I did it. Click on one, hold down your shift key. You can see the plus minus sign on the cursor. Click again, you've now got both of the drawer boxes selected. Right mouse click, equalize. And now these two drawer fronts are the same size. Drop in a door, another door, change the handle. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do is fix our reveals. And for this, I'm going to use the set reveal function. And if you, we'll just zoom in, and really the reveal is sitting inside the face frame. So if I'm going to do an overlap, and what I'm going to do is overlap the doors and the drawer fronts 12 millimeters around. Change reveals. If you enter -12, that's going to tell it to take whatever the left reveal is and reduce it by 12. If you want to set it to a minus figure, you have to enter equals -12. And the door gap, my mid styles are 38 millimeters. I'm overlapping by 12 on each side, so I really want my gap to be 38 minus 12, which is 14. So I'll set my gap to 14. And I'll leave the inset alone. And every drawer front and door now will expand. There we go. And so the double door, or the door gap that I put, was if I were to split this drawer into two, I want my gap to be the same as what it is between a door and a drawer or whatever. So if we took a measure, this gap is 14. And the double, this is the door gap that I had entered, and it's 14. So all of our gaps are the same. Okay, so now let's bring that back, sorry. Let's size this and make this 1400 wide. And so we can check to see how our settings were made and if they're made properly. Okay, so it looks like it did what we wanted. It kept the size of our outside drawers and doors to be the same, and it grew the middle. Let's see if our partitions and shelves stayed in the right place. I'll just empty it, and it did. As our box grew, this partition moved with the end of the panel as well as this style. So that's really good. But I think I made one mistake, and it would show up if we made our cabinet a different height. I made a reference here from the bottom. So the actual shelf has a bottom reference of 504. So if I change the height, this fixed shelf is always going to stay at 504 millimeters from the bottom. However, this one is 150 millimeters from the top. So if I made the cabinet taller, these two pieces are not going to stay in sync with each other. So let's do that next. Let's change our height to 1000. And there's the problem. So it's always good when you're developing a cabinet to make some changes to it and see if it's really robust enough to stand changes that you may make to it in the future, especially if you're going to put it into your library. So we'll fix this problem. We'll make the reference from the top, and all we have to do is move it back up into the right spot. And now, if I make a change and move this back down to, oh, let's move it, make it higher yet, 1200. This time, everything should stay together. And it did. Okay, let's make a change. Now that we have a very tall base cabinet, let's subdivide this further and put another drawer box in here. And probably we could use another shelf. I can highlight both of them, select Move, Control to duplicate, and we've now got an extra shelf. Take our mid-rail and make a copy of it. And again, it doesn't matter where we put it because we'll use the equalize function. Okay. This drawer box is too big, and it needs to know about the new mid-rail that we just put in. And we can accomplish that by just doing a reconnect. It basically tells that drawer box to go look for its new parameters to attach to. And now it's found it. Make a copy and put another drawer box in. Highlight the 3 drawers and equalize. And you've now got a modified cabinet. And it's that simple. We've got it now that you can make changes to the width and the height, and everything internally is going to work properly. And it's a good candidate to go into your library.